What does it mean to experience a moment in time? A moment of light or of utter darkness. A moment of joy that passes in the blink of an eye. Or a moment of sorrow that seems to hang around forever. Who determines what that moment ultimately holds for you, for your family, for your neighbor, or for those living on the ragged edge? Who is qualified to experience a moment in time and instinctively respond without discrimination, without hesitation, without fail? The same people who have carried the red shield of hope to our neighbors in need for over 150 years, who bring hope to the hungry, the homeless, and the lost.
I was 12 years old. 12 years old. I started with marijuana, and then all in that same year, when I was 12, I was in 6th grade. I used cocaine, I used acid, I used inhalants, I used alcohol, I used stimulants. And it just started from there. And then never stopped. And I didn't really see a problem with it. I didn't know what it was going to do to me at all. What you got?
Homelessness is real. And I think a lot of people feel like, oh, well, if you're homeless, you're just staying downtown on the streets. No, there's single mothers that are homeless, single fathers that are homeless. It's a reality that a lot of people don't face, and a lot of people don't know that struggle.
I come from a family of 13, and we was poor. We was poor, of course. And I know what it's like to have to go to somewhere to get some help for something. Like I had just always said, whenever I get old enough, I'm gonna give back for what I hadn't had.
So I lived for probably 2 years in and out of hotels. I had a lot of friends that would prostitute, and this is where they'd go. And then we'd be here to sell them drugs after they prostituted and got their money. And there was never any questions asked when people were knocking at the door. I just lived there and sold drugs. People would come in and out all day, all night, selling crack and heroin, and doing it. And it was just animal living. It's just what I did.
Well, me and my kids were actually living out of state. We had left Michigan and moved to Maryland, trying to see if we could get something better. I just got my pharmacy license. Not a lot of options here. Wanted to go and see if I could make it big, somewhere else. And the cost of living was really high, and it's not a place for a single parent with 2 kids. So we came back, and when I got here, I really realized that I didn't have anything. Like I literally sold all my furniture, everything. So I was just more like, what am I gonna do? And that's when I decided that I would have to try to get into one of the shelters. We stayed there for about 3 months. It was hard for my kids because they knew that wasn't home. And a lot of the issues that I had was finding a landlord that was willing to rent to me because of my past rental history. And even though I was working and I was working full time, I did have an eviction under my name. So it just seemed like door after door after door after door. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do?
Okay, I'll do my normal thing. We have one ticket and she's requesting no turkey. And she would like some chicken wings, and I do have some. I've used this pantry some time ago. I wasn't working, my wife was the only one working. We had no income coming in. I had to come up here that one time when I felt so down and out that I felt bad that she had to work and I'm just sitting up at home doing nothing. So I said, let me get up off my butt and go do something. And I came up here, started volunteering, and it seems like everything just turned around. Annie? You are?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Don't forget your items on the bottom.
Oh, thanks. Have a good day.
You too, ma'am.
We're walking up to the place that I lived. I lived there in 2012. That was what I considered the worst time of my life and of my addiction. It was awful. It's horrible, horrible living. It's a little overwhelming to be here in a good way that life's so good, because I remember feeling so trapped here. I think that's why they call it a trap house, because it was a trap house and I was trapped there. The last week of my active addiction, I had spent over $10,000 injecting in my neck. My veins in my arms were gone. I reversed probably 10 overdoses in this house, saved 10 lives with that medication, Narcan. It was scary, really, really scary. But I left to go to Turning Point from here, and that saved me to have that opportunity, because this was the worst living conditions I ever lived in.
And so I came up here 7 years ago. I'm still here. Like I say, I enjoy what I do. The Salvation Army exists to help people in need. If the food pantry shut down, there'd be a lot of people starving or trying to make ends meet the best they could. It'll be either buy groceries or get my medicine. It'll be just as simple as that. Like I say, they gave me something, let me give it back to them.
It was a long journey. It was a long journey to get to housing. I was meeting landlords and they're like, oh, well, you got that eviction. So that's when the Salvation Army kind of stepped in, like, well, we have this program. We do have a lot of people who face this barrier. And so how can we get around this barrier to get them into housing and get their kids where they need to be stable? And that's pretty much how we got here. You want to know that your kids are safe. You want to know that they're happy and that they're comfortable. Having a home is everything. Like, it's safety, It's comfort. It's everything. This is ours, and it's peaceful, it's private, it's quiet. It's movie nights, it's eating pizza and drinking pop and, barbecuing, grilling, outside, kids riding their bike. It's happy, home is where the heart is. So you can't beat that, especially when you haven't had one for 2 years. I used to never want to be at home. Now I don't want to be anywhere but home because it was such a struggle to get here. I couldn't have asked for better people, really, to help me and to get me where we needed to be.
And then put that one back. I was hopeless. I didn't honestly believe I was going to stay clean again, but I knew that I had told me over and over again, all the 17 times I had been to treatment before, that don't give up, just keep trying. That something just clicked one day. It just clicked that I could get better, and I wanted to be a mom to her. Here, Ari, you want to cut the onion? Look. I was always told every time I went to Turning Point that no matter how bad you mess up, you can come back here and try again. Never give up. Never give up hope and never quit quitting. And I'm lucky I didn't quit quitting. And I'm lucky I was taught that when I was there and had a place to go, because I don't believe I'd be here and my home with my family if I didn't have that opportunity in life. Once upon a time, there was a magical land called the Enchanted Forest. It's sad. It's really, really sad, but I just consider it all a part of my journey. All this stuff led me to be able to do the things I do today, which I count my life to being a mother to a child that wasn't supposed to have me in the court's eyes and everyone else's eyes. Nobody ever thought I was going to be capable of that. Wash the spider out. Or the big caterpillar on the wall. This does amaze me that I can just sit and be content. I'm sitting here thinking, oh, well, my life's boring, but it's not. It's just life now, and life was so messed up before that it is amazing that I can have a simple life now, though.
What does it mean to experience a moment in time? A moment in time that is sometimes too brief to even detect. But it's there. Because you can feel it. In your head. In your heart. A moment in time to ignore, or a moment in time to respond.